Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw for Insider Travel Report, and I'm here today with Jake Peters, who's the co-founder and Chief Technology and Product Officer for Fora Travel. And we're here in their relatively new offices, the ones I have not been to before, down here in Wall Street area. And we're going to talk to Jake. They just had their big Fora meeting, and I think they had about 500-600 advisors, and where they unveiled a lot of new products for Fora advisors. And we want to talk to Jake about that and a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. Jake, first of all, it's great to see you. We saw each other at Virtuoso, and we had an interview then. But you've done a lot in the last few months, right?
We have. That was in early August.
Yeah.
So what is it now? Late October. So it's been like just 2 months-ish. And we've released a lot. I told you some things were coming, and they're here now.
Okay, so now roughly, everybody always wants to know, roughly how many travel advisors do you serve at Fora Travel now?
I think last month about 13,000 people booked travel, but really at our upper levels, so our X and Pro levels, it's a smaller community. We have a few thousand Pro advisors, and that's about 100,000. To reach Pro, you have to book 100,000 in a year, and our X starts at our X group starts at 500,000.
That's the Fora X group,
in a year.
And those are the people who are full-time. I mean, you've gotten sort of a little flack for having sort of part-timers, but you do have some real good booking travel advisors as well, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about this before plenty of times. I think some of our part-timers are also fantastic travel advisors and have serious books of business. In fact, there are people in the Centum group who also have other jobs and don't just do this full time. It sort of depends on, how you want to organize your life and what you want to do. And we welcome everyone to be a travel advisor that wants to do this and has a real passion and interest in building their business. We say, we're a great home for travel entrepreneurs, and we give you the technology. I mean, that's my job, so I'm sure we'll talk about that. But we also give you the community and resources and training, thousands of hours of training that are necessary at all levels. And it's not just training, for new people, it's training for advanced people. So we have...
Well, that was going to be my question, is if you are a more advanced travel advisor, this can also be a home for you for travel, right?
Oh, yeah. We have people coming to us from other agencies. Most of the advisors that we have that are selling in the many millions of dollars a year are new to the travel advising industry, but we do have people that have joined us from other agencies. We've also had people leave us for other agencies, but...
that's par for the course in host agencies.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, it's like, I think the only, people move, sales managers moving around from hotel to hotel. Agents do move, although a little bit less maybe. And... I think when we started, we thought there would be more moving, but we're very happy to be creating. I mean, our goal was to create the sort of foundations for people to be able to do this, and we've clearly tapped into something. It's not like this came out of nowhere. We're offering people the right set of things that they need to be able to build their
tools
business.
And training and things like that to build their business. And in fact, when I first visited your offices, which was in the old office, which was only much smaller, you now have about 200 people on 2 levels in this office. So you really have been expanding a lot lately.
Yep. So about half of HQ is sort of my extended team in product and engineering and product operations and design. And the other half are all the things like we have our own in-house travel team, we have finance, marketing, advisor membership operations, the leadership team, support. We expanded into Mexico and Canada, so we have those operating teams are based here actually, and we're preparing for more there. And then we've launched Ichigo, our Japanese tour operator, and we're going to be launching more.
Japanese tour operator, that's interesting. How does that fit in the structure, I guess?
Well, I guess when you think about providing things for advisors to be able to become travel entrepreneurs and build their business, so Japan, we've identified certain areas that are more difficult to book, and so we create opportunities to make it easier for our advisors to do that. So the first real areas are actually the first area was really our cruise training desk. So we help advisors, we have many great advisors that book a lot of cruise, and there are a lot of advisors who are getting into cruise, something a lot about. And sometimes those people don't have the confidence to book their first cruise or help a client that they have a long-term relationship with who wants to go on their first trip. And so we have a cruise desk that enables the assistance. Well, first we have a cruise desk that trains our advisors on how to do that. But then if you want, you can ask the cruise desk for help with your booking. You retain the client, but the desk will help you. We do the same thing in groups. So we have a groups desk support led by Julie, who comes from the supplier side groups industry.
Okay.
And so we're doing a bunch of stuff with, across the MICE spectrum, traditional agency work on like weddings and honeymoons, but also a lot of small business group events. So this whole category of service from a travel agency where we help, let's say, entrepreneurs who have a small company, and we also serve the founders. We don't do really business travel, but we do a bit of travel that blends leisure and business travel for the founders of a small business, but they also have offsites and maybe incentive trips for their clients and things like that. So our groups business is booming. We sort of stumbled into this. We just started looking at our bookings, and we found, many of our advisors were very
well, it's a very lucrative category.
Yeah, entreprising advisors were building big groups businesses, and so we said let's invest and build a groups desk. I've taken advantage of it for my sister's wedding room block and other kinds of my wife's company's retreat. So it definitely works. And Japan has been an area we've been thinking about a lot. One of our original team members, Brian, had a Japanese-focused tour operator before joining Fora, and so we sort of stood that up, and we have so much demand. I'm not going to quote the stat, but I can give it to you later because I don't want to misquote it. But we have so much demand that we don't really know what to do with. So we've
you got a team here now that can support that, so that's the beauty of it. Now, you just had this a few weeks ago. I missed it. I'm sorry. You had your big meeting. I think you had 500-600 people over in Brooklyn. What were the things that you announced there? And we're going to talk about one in particular, right?
So this was our fourth annual live forum. Right. We started 4 years ago with 35 advisors or so, and then 119 or 120 on the top of 9 Orchard. And last year and this year we had about 500 to 600 advisors and 300 supplier partners. Very Fora style. I know you like the exposed brick of our old office. So this was at the Knockdown Center in deep in Brooklyn, which is normally full of raves and concerts and those kinds of events.
A different kind of rave, right?
This was a different kind of daytime, a hotel and cruise rave. Lots of, it's a lot of speed networking. So it's like it's our own mini consortia event with a lot of the time dedicated to our advisors interacting with our supplier partners, and then a little bit of time reserved for us founders and some people from our community to talk about things with the advisors. So I did a keynote speech, which ends up being really fun, where we live launch a bunch of technology that we've been saving up. And we also talk about the future, what we're going to be doing for the next year. We record it and share it with all the advisors in our community who can't be there. So this year was really a lot of fun. We talked about Bookable Quote, which is coming.
This is what we're going to talk about. Yeah. Bookable Quote. Yeah.
We talked about a lot of improvements that we're making just to the general infrastructure that we have in Portal. And then we talked a lot about the future and sort of the philosophy of what we're building towards in terms of how we are going to enable AI to serve our advisors, to help them serve their clients. So some of the ways we're going to do that with our new CRM product, our integrated workflow tooling, how we're going to continue to expand the booking platform that we've built, the other tooling that we'll do for cruise and flights and activities, et cetera. Really, we started Fora. Evan has this concept called the Better Equation in Travel, which really centers around advisors, clients, and suppliers, or travel partners. And the first bit of tooling we built was for advisors, obviously, to enable them to do their work. And the first bit we actually did wasn't even seen by advisors. It was all the commission management and invoicing stuff behind the scenes. And then
which is crucial.
Yeah, which is very crucial to a functioning business, especially if you want to get paid. And the advisor product is really almost like an iceberg in that sense, because there's a lot of things like the supplier database and the connections to the GDS and all of the financial operation that they don't really see. And then there's the stuff they see. This product that we launched, the Bookable Quote, really gets us to move around the triangle, and is the first thing we built that's really more traveler or client focused, really addressing actually the line that goes between the advisor and the client to enable them to transact more easily. So when we think about why our advisor is important, it's really about the curation and the sort of advice and coaching to some degree that you give your clients. What's really nice about, let's say, booking with a credit card portal or an OTA is that it's fast. Mm-hmm. And so we were thinking, okay, how can we marry these two things together? How can we have the curation and the speed? So let's say it's, you want to go somewhere. Let's say you want to go to Paris. That's the option I always use as my example option. And you say, Jake, I'm sort of considering my favorite hotel I always go to, but I'd like you to recommend some other options. And I say, okay, great. I'll put something together. I could quote you rates. And then you may be busy doing some of your interviews. You may be doing 40 interviews over the next 3 days. You finally sit down and it's 11 p.m. and you look at your options and you decide, okay, we'll take this one, actually try something new. You write me back. I look the next day. The rate has changed. Maybe it's sold out. A lot of things could have happened during those 4 days. But let's say I make you a bookable quote. Now you're live looking at rates. Actually, you're seeing the same quote that I would have written up nicely in an email, would have taken forever to produce. I can now, with a couple clicks and moving things over, drop those into a link, send them to you. You can see the options. You can see my comments about why I'm recommending certain things. And then you could say, you know what, we'll take that one. And if the price changes between now and when I send you the quote, or when you go to book, you'll see the updated price. You'll see that there's, something's no longer available. Coming very soon in the next version of this, I, as the advisor, will get an alert if something that I've proposed to you is no longer available before you booked it. I could swap that out with a different room option, or maybe I want to bump up a category or go down a category or pick a different hotel. By the time you go to actually book it, you actually are actually booking it. So you're saying, I want this. It's 11 p.m. You're with your wife. You're not going to text me at that time. I do have friends that I book for that do text me at 11 p.m., which is totally fine. But we're not there yet. And so you say, okay, I'm going to book this. You pick the room and you just check out, and boom, you have a booking. I wake up in the morning and I have a notification that you've booked, and now I can start.
You get the commission for that booking.
Yes, and now I can start putting together the rest of your itinerary and helping you.
Okay. Fantastic. Now, I think we may want to do another video quickly about that bookable quote product if you want, and we're going to talk to one of your team about that. But there seemed to have been a lot of stuff that you unveiled there. I wish I was there next year we have to get you. Give it to me a little more in advance, and I'll get there. But we're going to do a quick another video about bookable quote and maybe some of the other technologies that are going on. And but before that, we're going to say goodbye to Jake for now. We're looking at a beautiful view. The view is definitely better than the previous one, right?
The view is fantastic here. We're in a really unique spot. We're in downtown Manhattan. We can see City Hall over here. On the other side, we see the Oculus. We see the Woolworth building, which when it was built was the tallest building in the world, which is kind of hard to believe. We see the Four Seasons downtown.
No, it's all here.
All right here.
So anyway, it's great to see you, Jake, again since Virtuoso, and a lot's been going on. And as you can see, Fora Travel is really expanding and growing, and a lot more technology bringing to bear for its travel advisors and for their clients. I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.